Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Plantmas. I am so happy you guys are enjoying this. Yes, I'm seeing your comments and I'm trying my hardest to make sure I reply back to your comments. So today's is a little bit of a kind of a fun one for me because we're going to go over some philodendrons, and I'm not really going to dive deep into these philodendrons because some of them are actually going to be featured in some Plantmas episodes. But I thought I would do some philodendrons that are kind of, I guess I should say, that make me happy. Some of the ones that I really do enjoy keeping, especially for the year of 2020. And I'm surrounded by them. There's there's five? Yeah, we're going to go over 5. So let's just get into it. One of the first ones that's right here beside me, this is a beautiful, beautiful philodendron with wonderfully tubular, as I found out today. I don't know if that'll pick up because it's trying to look at my face. Tubular petioles. They look like hairs, but they're actually little tubes from what I read. This is Philodendron nanogrants. Philodendron nanogrants is actually going to be a featured plant because I read some very interesting articles about it today. It was super, super cool reading about it. But this is not a climbing philodendron, really. It is like a rambling philodendron, so it prefers to be on the ground. This one definitely needs a new pot. But what I love about that, look how beautiful those new leaves coming out of that Cassville are. And when these leaves come out, they're pinkish and they're stunning. And you can't go wrong with this petiole. It is so neat to fill. But if you rub them too hard, they come off. A heart-leafed one. And we do have some hard water deposits on that. I really need to get some filtration for the greenhouse watering so I don't have to deal with that. That may be a project for next year. So, love this plant a lot. This one actually has already been shown on the channel, but y'all loved this plant very, very much. And I can actually just kind of set it in my lap like this. Philodendron Warsawiskii, Witskawitskii, whatever you want to call it. It's super hard to say, and I don't think I've ever heard it said before. I got big plans for this guy. It's actually going to start climbing on something in the greenhouse, which is another project within itself. That might be like a midwinter project because I've got a lot going on right now. But this philodendron is a climbing philodendron. Puts off these beautiful lacy leaves that actually get really large. And you can't go wrong with this stem is so chunky. It's almost like a trunk, honestly. Like, it cracks me up how chunky this plant is. And our aerial roots, you guys watched me repot this not too long ago. Aerial roots are already starting to sink into the dirt and everything, so that is wonderful. She's doing great, growing great. Can't wait to see this new leaf come out. So, and I don't think repotting this plant set it back on that leaf because I kept a lot of the soil that was already intact. So, fun plant to have. If you ever get a chance to get it, get it. It is well worth it. So the next plant we're going to talk about is Philodendron glorious, which is a hybrid between Philodendron gloriosum and Philodendron melanochrysum. I love this plant. I've had this plant for like 2 years now, and it's been bigger than this, but I've taken multiple cuttings off of it, and I've sold some cuttings. I've given some cuttings away. Rachel, my sister from another mister, actually has a cutting of this that's growing in her collection, and it's doing absolutely wonderful. Now, melanochrysum can be very, very picky little plant, but it seems like when you cross it with something, it does wonderful. This plant's like done wonders for me, and it just continues to grow. I cut it, it continues to grow, and it just never stops. It never stops it. It just never slows down. And these I've had this plant for a very long time. These are the original leaves. This one, and this one are the original leaves. So these 3 leaves came with the plant when I bought it a long time ago. So it was, I got this plant when like it first started making appearance, and I think I paid at that point like $75 for it, which seems very, very cheap now for the price these things are fetching. But I love it. If you ever get a chance, and hopefully at some point these will become readily available, you'll be able to get one. It's a wonderful plant to have. Get it, get it, get it. So our next plant, almost knocked the nanogrants over, is another hybrid. And this hybrid is another one that just never stops. So this is Philodendron Splendid. Philodendron Splendid is another hybrid between Philodendron verrucosum and Philodendron melanochrysum. This is a wonderful plant to grow, and this is a wonderful plant to grow, and another one of those that I have not had a single issue with. So this stump right here was the originally part of this plant. This plant was attached to this plant, and I've just cut and chopped and sold cuttings, give cuttings away. Becca from Becca de la Plants has a cutting of this. I love this plant very much. And see, it's so funny because I cut this and it activated 2 growth points, and then this was still growing, this piece right here. And then I cut it again and activated another. So we've got like 3 growth points activated on this. And I want to say there's 1, 2 growth points that are dormant right now on this one. But wonderful plant to have. Great textured on the back, great color on the back leaves, sorry. And it almost wants to do that fuzzy petiole like a verrucosum does, but it's just kind of bumpy instead. Great plant to have. If you get a chance, get you one. They grow wonderfully. They're not as picky as verrucosum, and there's a stick in the way, and melanochrysum, because they're very picky plants. Those 2, the parents of this. But when you create this hybrid, it grows. 50% humidity, and it's perfectly fine. I grow it in the greenhouse, of course, and it's about time for a repot, I'm thinking. There's roots, very happy roots in here. And it's funny, it was this summer when I just cut this top off and just stuck it in the soil, and it rooted, and no problem at all. So, Philodendron Splendidium, or Splendid, whatever you want to call it, another hybrid. I would love to be able to keep that plant in the picture, because she's so pretty. Look at this, that leaf that verrucosum comes out of. All right, and the last one is a very fun one. It's just fun, this philodendron. And it has a very long name. So this is Philodendron 69686. Philodendron 69686 is a, of course, climbing philodendron. It is a lobe guy, sometimes confused with Philodendron UPI, which that's a whole different conversation. This plant is actually going to be featured in a video here soon, because I've been learning a lot about it. So Philodendron 69686 is happier growing in a very humid condition with a very well draining potting mix, just like I do coconut husk, perlite, and a little bit of potting mix, and it's perfectly fine. And it's actually finally attached itself to this coconut coir pole. So, isn't that just a neat leaf? And there's another neat leaf. I like that. It's such a neat plant to grow. I bought this off of Facebook from a friend because I was wanting a UPI so bad that sometimes this is called the poor man's UPI, because it has that UPI vibe, but it's not. It's a completely different plant. And we're gonna go over that here soon. I'm gonna pull my UPI out. We're gonna talk about both of them at the same time. But this one is becoming a very hot ticket plant, I've noticed. A lot of people starting to buy it up, which I love to see, because it's a fun plant to grow. Can be a little bit picky, but Another thing, if you say you buy it and you've got lobed leaves like this, sorry, you can't really, the lobey leaves like this, and you put it in a pot and you don't give it anything to grow on, it's gonna revert back to like smaller juvenile leaves that are just gonna be long. So always give this one something to grow on, or it's gonna revert back to having small leaves. So these are some of my favorite philodendrons, and you're gonna see some featured here soon. Let's just bring in the whole gang so I can just hide in the foliage of my plants. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Have any questions, feel free to send me a message. Oh, I was looking at my YouTube analytics. I'm just making up words today. YouTube analytics. 49% of you guys watching my videos are not subscribed. So how about you do me a little bit of a favor, please, and hit that subscribe button. It really means a lot to me. Thanks, guys, for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.